Well, good morning for the second day of the Congress. Good afternoon, good morning, a good night for good evening for the members is in video. Today, the second day of our Congress, is the discussion different points of status and rules for different committees. I think it's open the good discussions because they're a little hot, a little increase the temperature in this room because a little cold. But after the discussion, perhaps it's better. Well, I think it's yesterday. Congress is a special Congress, not only for because it's hybrid. There are only 3 hours. We had the opportunity to visit yesterday Rome because he coming at Rome. If not visiting Rome, is a criminal. I think you have the opportunity to visit and comfortable today. To start now, there are different points. I think is follow the first to guarantee the best system to vote because there are necessary a lot of votes for different rules. Simon is preparing the text, and after the second, this test, go to roll call. Please, Simon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second day of the ICF Congress. I think we go straight into a test vote. So can I ask the room, is everybody ready for voting? Does everyone be able to register and online? Looks like we're okay here. We did well yesterday. And online, we're just working through. I think we're okay online. More or less. Okay, so let's see if we could have the test question up, please. We're doing the same question as yesterday. Yes. So if you could please vote now. Have you been in Rome before? Yes, no, and abstain. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're at around 68 votes, which is a little bit less than yesterday. I would imagine there's still a few people that are online that are still to vote. So yes, it's going up slowly. Yesterday, the voting was quite good. Most of the votes were done within 1 minute, so I think if we keep that schedule today, we'll be quite comfortable. Yeah. Okay, I think that's successful. If there's anybody that having problems with the voting in the room, no, it looks like we're okay here. Anybody online that is having problems with the vote, please enter the chat on the Zoom, and the ICF staff will help you in any way. Okay?
Yes, it's true.
Okay, so we'll go on to the roll call, please. That's the result. It's not really relevant right now. Okay, there we go. So please, could you register on your application that you're actually present for the Congress, please? Once you press this, you will see your country code get highlighted in blue on the screen. Just check that American Samoa, Bolivia, Cambodia, Chile. Could you please press your buttons? Ah, yeah, thank you. That's one. Bolivia's done. Chile, Cote d'Ivoire, Colombia, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Egypt. If you could press your button, that maybe they're not here. Guatemala, Hong Kong, and Honduras. Will you please press your button to receive your present? Ireland, Kazakhstan, and Korea. Kyrgyzstan, sorry. Lithuania. Libya, I think he was traveling, so he should be here. Morocco, Mozambique, Pakistan, Peru, Romania. No. Once, well done, Chile. Serbia. Why Serbia? Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Taipei. No, I think we're at 81. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. Before to continue the next point, and only for your information, this is the first time this Congress, thousands and thousands of people around the world follow by stream. I received many emails yesterday. Hey, it's good. This means all the information in this online, many people and many clubs and national federations have the possibility to follow this Congress. Yes.
The member of the ICF Athletes Committee.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We received, for your information, very nice news. What? I read. Just in this moment, I came here as a great news is Jessica Fox have appointed to join the Athletes Commission to the IOC. It's big applause. It's very important for us. After Tony gets finished, because the Athletes Commission is maximum 8 years, it's coming days for us is very important. Well, I repeat, go to the point 12. Follow first, point 12A is ICF status. And after, when finish the statute, we continue the point B. Please, Simon.
Thank you, Mr. President. We move straight into the activity for today. There will be 43 votes, so it's going to be quite a long process, but we really need your help to get through the rules of the ICF. The statutes that we will do first require a 2/3 majority by the Congress. All the other rules require a simple majority of 50.51%, okay? I apologize in advance, there's going to be a lot of rule changes. We tried to simplify and make it as easy for you to follow as possible. We will endeavor to explain them. We did not receive any questions from any delegation on most of the rules, so hopefully we can go quite quickly to a vote on those. The ones where we did receive questions, we will highlight like we did yesterday and discuss, and then go to a vote. For the Canoe Sprint, Canoe Slalom, and Paracanoe, we will go question by question. For the non-Olympic disciplines, we will explain each issue, but we will try, if there's no questions, we will then just do one vote for the whole amount of those issues for approve or to disapprove. If there's any questions from the floor on any of those issues, we will do an individual vote, okay? The idea is that we reduce the time of voting, but still discuss every issue that has been proposed in these rule changes. Just to summarize, because this is fairly new for a lot of you, 3 years ago, we changed the structure of the ICF competition rules. And basically, I'd just like to summarize what these new rule structure are. The Congress rules are so important for each national federation that we discuss and vote for them at the Congress. So all their impact is with you, and the wording and everything is decided by the Congress. The principal rules are seen as important and affect all disciplines of the ICF, but require being tailor-made in the wording for each discipline. So they specifically are worded to represent that discipline. For these, the principle is discussed and decided on in the Congress, but the board would decide the wording or make the wording that would be published in the competition rules. And finally, the sport rules refer to the specific field of play and event rules for each discipline, and the board decides based on the chair recommendation that those rules. Okay, I come back to something that was raised at the last Congress. There was a concern that the ICF would not bring the principal rules enough to the Congress. So what we've done this time is we've actually brought most of them to you, so that any issues or any debate can be done here. Even though the wording has been confirmed by the board, we believe that it's still the opportunity for the board to discuss and highlight any issues that they should have with any changes proposed. Okay, sorry, a little bit of a summary of what we've done changed over the last 3 years. Are there any questions relating to the structure of the ICF rules? Don't have anything on here. Anything from people online? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll do the statutes, then the competition rules, Congress rules, sorry, and then the principal rules will be divided by each discipline, and my staff, the technical managers, will take those issues, and at any time or point, please intervene with any questions you may have. Okay, so we'll move on to the statutes, please. Okay, this was received, as we know, the national federations apply to recommend any changes to the statutes. Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, they all propose this change. The idea is that the ICF would cover travel and accommodation expenses to the subsequent congresses of one delegation from national federations which have never participated in the Congress. Now, the ICF board believed that this was not really a good idea to change the current situation, because the danger of people attending Congress and voting on matters that they have no knowledge was one point, but also the fact is that majority of our members have already come to a Congress, so the number of countries that this would affect will be quite small. So the ICF board was unanimously in the decision that this should not be approved by the Congress. At this point, I'd like to open the floor to see if there's any questions or any remarks. It does not seem to be the case. I'll just check online. No, it looks like we're okay. Okay, so we will go to a vote. For the statutes, I just repeat, it has to be a 2/3 majority to pass. Okay, so the question for this point is, do you approve the updated Article 16.1 and agree with the Denmark, Slovakia, and Finland, or do you agree that that would be that you agree it to change, or you agree to keep the same? So, sorry, the wording of this is not so clear. Can we go back a slide, please? Okay, so the ICF board is not in favor of this proposal, okay? So go back to the question. Okay, so the question is, do you approve the updated Article 16.1, which would mean if you agree, you support the change by Denmark and Sweden. If you agree with the ICF board to remain the same, you would put no, and abstain if you don't have a particular opinion. I please ask you to vote now for this question. So the existing rule will stay in place. Thank you very much. We go to the next, because is that to be a 2/3 majority? Okay. Can we go to the next slide? Okay. This is also connected to that, but the article from the same federations was that a national federation may be represented at the Congress by another member association. And the idea was to delete this. Now the problem is we still have proxies in other wording and throughout the statutes, so this would make no sense to just delete this on its own because it would cause us other problems in the logistics of organizing the Congress. So in this case, the ICF board was not in favor to support this deletion. Are there any questions on this? Nope, seems quite straightforward. Thank you. So in this case, do you approve the removal of the article 16.2, which would mean you would put yes to remove it, or that you would support the ICF board and its recommendation would be to put no and please abstain if you don't have a preference? Thank you very much. Please vote now. Okay, thank you very much. That has not been passed either. Just to be transparent, 2/3 majority is 54 votes needed, so just to be transparent. Okay, to the next question, please. Okay. Because of the COVID pandemic, it has been quite challenging with the statutes that we had in place to hold a Congress that conformed with the ICF statutes. So the ICF board recommended to put a clause in the statutes which would allow us to change the date and the location of the Congress, and to also hold it electronically if required. We've done a hybrid one here, but it could be that if nobody could move, we could do a full Congress completely electronically. So this wording was proposed for the board. We think it's quite necessary, and I see all the other IFs and other sporting organizations are putting this in their statutes right now. So I think it's something that we do need to consider. Are there any questions on this point? No, then I think we should go to the vote. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. So there was a question from Australia. So Australia wrote that we suggested the proposal contains further details to ensure that the ICF Congress is held within a reasonable time period after the initial proposed date. For example, if the date of the Congress must be changed, should the alternative date be within 6 months of the original date to support the continuity of ICF business? Okay, and for this I ask Albert Woods, who's ICF board member, to reply.
Thank you, Simon. It's quite clear. It's not really going to help us overcome the issue that we're faced with right now. The way we've had problems with the pandemic over the last 18 months is just putting us in a position where we can't actually keep to that rule. You know, 6 months, we get to the 6 months and then it still has to be delayed. What do? We're actually fighting against our own statutes. So I believe that the way the article is at the present time, that you've just agreed to, will actually give us the flexibility to do exactly what we have done. And I have to compliment Simon and everybody and the Italian Federation for enabling us to have this Congress. And it's lovely to see so many people face to face. You know, you're beginning to think you live in an island without any other people. But the situation with COVID has not ended yet, and there might still be some delays, but fortunately, the time is now for this Congress, which is good. But I believe that proposed change to the statute would restrict us now that we have the hindsight of what COVID has actually done to us. So I believe that, and the board believe that we shouldn't support this change. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Any other comments or responses? Perhaps Australia online? Currently, there is no, doesn't seem to be any response from them, so I assume we can go on. Okay, so let's go to the vote. So do you approve the additional sub-article of Article 17, which is the one proposed by the ICF board, to add the clause for electronic voting and change of the date? Yeah. Please vote now. Great, thank you very much. That helps us in the legality of holding future congresses, so thank you. Move on to the next point, please. Okay. This is quite a particular and important point for us. Paracanoe has become a major success for the ICF, and this clause was supported by Satome, the member of Satome, who basically believes that the Paracanoe chair should be moved up to be on the executive alongside the Sprint and Slalom chairs. And I think that, well, the ICF board was in favour of this decision. Is there any comments from the floor? No, I think if we go one slide forward, yes, okay. We did have one comment that came through in advance of the Congress, and basically it was from Canoe Kayak Canada, and there was a reference to report that it's important that the chair of Paracanoe should be on the executive. We feel this is critical as a Paralympic sport discipline, similar to that of sprint and Wildwater slalom. This will ensure equity and fair representation. So I think that's fair to say that the board agreed with that statement. Are there any comments? No? Then I think we can go to the vote, please. So do you approve the amended Article 30 and 31 to add the Paracanoe chair as an executive committee member? Please vote yes, no, or abstain. Thank you very much. That passed, and the Paracanoe chair will be added to the executive committee from the end of this Congress. Thank you. On to the next subject, please. Okay, this is from Djibouti, and basically here is the Article 26.2 that the African continent would receive an extra ICF board member to make it 3, which will be comparable with Americas and the Asian continents. And this would take the ICF board to 31 in number. And basically, this would bring it in line with the other members on the board. The ICF board, when we discussed this, was in favour of this motion. And basically, at that point, I asked if there's any questions for this issue. No, doesn't seem the case. So please, can we go to a vote, please? Do you approve and amend the Article 26.2 to increase the number of African representatives to 3 on the ICF board? Okay. Okay. According to this result, it has passed just, but unfortunately about 10 voters didn't actually register. But because we showed the result, it's not possible to ask for them to vote, if you understand, because we cannot show. Karen, we went from 87 to suddenly 73 in voters. Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask a question. Up here, we're deciding that we should have a revote on this. Can I just ask that the Congress is actually okay that we have a revote on this? Yeah, it doesn't, okay, great. Okay, so we'll start again, please. Okay? And it's not because we have a vote either way, it's the fact that there's been a discrepancy on the number of voters, okay? So we start again. Karen, are you ready? Okay, great. Okay, so the question is, do you approve the amended Article 26.2 to increase the number of African representatives to 3 on the ICF board? Please vote yes, no, or abstain. The vote opens now.
Please, we need to check in the internet connection.
We have, this time everybody has voted, Patrick.
Oh, good, good.
You managed to get it in.
Perfect. 87, 87. Okay.
87.
54.
It moves.
Yes, in favor.
No, it loses. 65.
57.
Needs 66.
Ah, 66, yeah.
Just moves. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody. The motion did not pass. It fails, but it's very, very close. Is there any opposition from anybody in the room of this vote? Okay, we move on to the next article, please. Yeah. Okay. The next article was recommended by the ICF board. National federations to pay their membership fees eligible for the Congress will be moved to the 90 days deadline, which is exactly the same deadline as we have for those people up for election. And the reason for this is to remove any discrepancy between those people that are nominated and then their members actually paying their fees 2 months later. So the idea is to be equitable on the deadlines for membership fees for the Congress and also the candidates for elections. Are there any questions for this? No? Then we should go to the vote. Do you approve the amended Article 12 to increase the deadline to 90 days for all payments to the ICF to be eligible to vote and to take part in the discussions of the Congress? Please vote yes, no, or abstain. Okay. Thank you very much. That one passes. And go to the next issue, please.
Pass.
Okay. Oh, there's a question. Yes. So we received a question from the Hungarian Canoe Federation, and we agree with the issue here. In principle, what has happened with the Athletes Committee is that we added the Paracanoe in 2015, I believe, and whilst we were going through the process, because the first election was in 2017, we realized that there was a gender inequity, and so we added the male and female Paracanoe representation in the election based on IPC rules, and also the request of our Gender Equity Committee at that time. And so in principle we were doing the gender equity together, but it's clear that the statutes do not show that they were following that. So there's only 7 members and 1 male Paracanoe. So what we'd like, if the Hungarians agree, is that we would do we would bring the statutes up to date and do the vote now, so that the rules would go to 8 and we have complete gender equity in the Athletes Committee. Can I ask Hungary if that is acceptable to them? Okay, so we will go straight to a vote, please. And the vote is, do you agree to amend the Article 32.2 with the additional sentence, 2 representatives of Paracanoe, 1 male, 1 female, elected by athletes the year after the Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games? Please vote yes, no, or abstain, please. Thank you very much. So we will update the statutes to follow exactly what we've been doing in practice. Thank you. Thank you very much to Hungary for that as well. Move on to the next one. I think that is the end of the statutes. So thank you very much. So now we go to the other rules, which are only a simple majority, 51% to pass. And these are the Congress rules. Okay. Here, the first one is quite simple. It is basically a clarification on and changes the wording to be more exact in the glossary. So as you can see, they're on the screen. I don't need to outline them. The teams in Article 1.2 refers to canoe polo. So we just added that because it said individuals. Okay. Any questions on this point? I didn't imagine it will be. No. Okay, so we go straight to a vote. Please, could you agree the clarifications concerning the procedure for glossary Article 1.2? Please vote yes, no, or abstain. Great, thank you very much. Move on to the next proposal. Okay. For many years, there's been a debate about under 16s competing in ICF competitions, and there has been a move in shift where we believe that now we're at a stage where competitions do need to be held in that age category. So there is a proposal that we change the wording to allow in level 4 competitions only. So these do not affect ICF competitions. But in level 4 competitions, an athlete starting from the year of birth, their 13th birthday can compete in an international competition in a specific age group event with suitably adapted competition formats defined and agreed by the HOC. Okay. Are there any comments relating to this? No? Then I believe we can go to a vote. So please, can you vote to approve and amend the Article 1.4 and the new Article 1.42 in the yes, no, and abstain. Thank you. That has been approved. Thank you very much. And now we will work with the chairs on working with those specific disciplines and allowing those competitions. Thank you. Move on to the next article. This is a United Nations refugee athlete. We will have known that in Tokyo we had refugee both in Canoe Sprint and one in Paracanoe. This has been work done by the International Olympic Committee, and this is becoming a stable team inside the Olympic movement. So to come in line with what they're doing, the ICF has proposed these rulings where a refugee, if eligible, can actually compete in ICF competitions under a refugee team. And they will be not required to be entered by a national federation as such. Is there any questions relating to this or comments? No. This has the ICF recommendation, but it also has the IOC recommendation for obvious reasons. So please could you vote, do you approve the new Article 1.58 to allow UN refugee athletes to compete in ICF competitions? Please vote yes, no, or abstain. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we will update the statutes accordingly with the refugee team. Next issue, please. Okay. So at various competitions, the ICF has had the experience where teams enter athletes and then withdraw them at short notice without any financial requirements on their side, and the problem that has left a lot of organizing committees out of pocket when they've arranged transport or accommodation. And so we, the ICF board and all the discipline chairs, believe that this would help to stop that from happening a little bit. And any late entries and late withdrawals will incur a fee of €20 per athlete in addition to the participation fee. And this is really not to stop, and it's really just to encourage people to think about how they're entering and to be more exact in their numbers and not just inflate the number of people are saying are coming to the competition. It has a major financial impact to the organizers. So is there any questions on this? No? Then we go to vote on it. Do you approve the amended Article 1.61F to add this late withdrawal? Please vote yes, no, or abstain now. Okay, thank you very much. That has passed, so we'll move on to the next article. Okay. This is an anti-doping education program. Athletes, coaches, and medical. We added coaches and medical staff. This is a requirement by WADA to add this into our rules. And also at the same time, Slovenia actually made the recommendation to us, but it was already being proposed by WADA for us to stipulate this. I noticed that Hungary also said it's already in our rules, but it's very late in the book and is actually kind of hidden. So the ICF board would like to still keep this in place where it is, because it really emphasizes that it's athlete, coaches, and medical personnel, which much keep to the to enter the education program. I offer the floor to the Hungarians. Could we have a microphone for the Hungarians, please? Do we have a microphone for the Hungarians? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Just one comment. In the ICF anti-doping rules, it says athlete support personnel. So you are right that it is in the anti-doping rules as well, but that pool is much wider than this one. For example, one question, the officials of the national federations, according to the ICF anti-doping rules, they also have to complete the educational program. This is a shorter circle of people. So that was my proposal, to put that wording. If the wording is here, it's okay, but there's a contradiction, so it's not obvious. So I would like to offer to use that definition, what is in the ICF anti-doping rules.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Yeah, I think we can take that on board to adjust it accordingly, as it's a wider group of people, and it is in line with what WADA is asking us. So we will adjust that. So the wording will be the wider scope of it. Okay. So if we go to the vote, please. So this is just to add that it would be athletes and support personnel. I don't know if Karen can adjust the voting time. Can you adjust the voting time, or we can still do the vote, Karen, on the same? I think it's okay. Okay. So please, can you vote to approve the amended Article 1.10.3, yes, no, or abstain, which would say athlete and support personnel. Yes, Ruak, could you get a microphone, please?
Excuse me, quick question. What is the definition of support personnel?
Yeah, it's basically everybody accredited with the team, apart from the President and Secretary General. So it's everybody that is basically accredited at an event.
That's fine.
Excuse me, can I give you the exact definition to answer this question? Athlete support personnel, any coach, trainer, manager, agent, team staff, official, medical, paramedical personnel, parent, or any other person working with, treating, or assisting an athlete participating in or preparing for sports competition. Just officials, for example, is very important. There are so many officials in international competitions, so we have to clarify whether they have to complete the anti-doping course or not.
That's right, Peter. And when we had discussion with WADA, we identified that that definition is not completely relevant to us, because like the President and Secretary General, we don't believe are necessarily at all the events. So we had that discussion with them and said, it's a nice definition, but it doesn't suit all the sports. So just responding to Rock's request is that for us, it's everybody except the President and Secretary General, because they're not dealing with the athletes. Again, parents as well. I'm not sure parents, they're not accredited. They can be in watching as a spectator. They should not be needed to require to do this. So this is something we'll discuss again with WADA, that the definition is maybe a little bit too broad, and maybe through the Hungarian Olympic Committee can also raise it to say, look, this definition is a little broad for us. Okay, thank you. We just wait for the result of the vote. Great, thank you very much. And the next one is from Australia, who would like to, they said that basically they wanted to change the article to identify more space on the athlete and for their sponsors, and enforce this rule consistency across all the competitions. The ICF board was not in favour to amend this article because we already have quite strict rules in place, and basically we didn't see any reason why there's no actual concept behind this, so we don't know exactly what Australia is proposing in terms of what size and where they want to locate it. So the idea would be that we would go back and discuss more with them and debate it more. We have a congress in 1 year that's for technical issues, and I believe that we would be better to go away and discuss more with Australia than basically putting this rule forward as it is. So is there any comments or questions relating to this issue? No, doesn't seem to be so. So let's go to the vote on this. So do you agree with the Australian proposal concerning the trademark and advertising? Please put yes. If you believe the ICF should go and discuss further with them, please press no, and abstain if you don't have a decision either way. Please vote now. Thank you very much. Okay, on to the next issue. Do not pass. Pass. Okay. This was just a simple clarification for those that have an ITO card, an International Technical Officials card, and basically it was what happens to renew the card. We didn't have this in the rules, so now is an expiry day. If the official doesn't use it in 2 years, then the ITO must restart and do the training again. We had over 1,500 ITOs on our list, and about 700 of them were not active. So this is really the case of us trying to keep with active members only, but also encourage people that have expired in terms of the technical official knowledge, that they would be retrained. Any comments for this? No, then we go straight to a vote, please. Please could you vote on approving the amended Article 1.15.2F and the new sub-article D and E. Please vote yes, no, or abstain. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's the end of the Congress rules. We have one rule, principal rule, that is common to all disciplines, and it came from the Netherlands, if I remember correctly. In 2 disciplines, we've already been doing this, and it's related to World Championships and ITO travel costs. So basically, for each World Championships, both junior and senior, each national federation pays a certain amount of money that covers the costs of the ITOs that are responsible for that competition. It has worked really well. It's much fairer than the older system, where basically a national federation would pay for those ITOs. It's been accepted across the board, and what we'd like to do is actually make it consistent across all the disciplines that this rule comes into effect. Because it's a principal rule, each discipline will amend the rule slightly different. So here what we're voting on is that on principle, all the disciplines will be able to charge these fee to the national federations for the ITOs. So I think we can go. Is there any questions or comments on this one? No? Okay, so we can go straight to the vote. Do you approve the principle to be implemented across all disciplines of having a small charge for covering the ITO expenses at the World Championships? Great, thank you very much. Okay, we now finished the discipline rule. So I'm going to hand over to Martin, who's going to do the flat water rule changes. And basically, if you have any questions to answered, the chairs are here, which will actually intervene and do the responses for any questions that you may have. Martin, if you could continue, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Hi, everyone. We will start with the Canoe Sprint sport rules, principal rules. Like Simon explained, last Congress we changed all the rule books and we tried to unify them for all disciplines. So most of the changes are still unifying these rules because in the great amount of work a few years ago we couldn't see all the small things. So again, all these mostly small changes, and there's a few major changes what you have to approve. So we group them in few groups, and the first group is the rules about the boat construction. As you see, they only clear the language, and nothing major, no changes, just better explanation. Any questions? So we vote for the group. If you agree with the whole group of rules, please vote. Do you agree to amend the Article 3.2, boat construction, and the Article 3.4, canoe definition? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Next group of questions. It's about the trademarks advertising. The first rule is being deleted. And the second one is only for the ICF competitions. So it's moved to 13.9.2.8A, which is the World Championships. We think the name stickers requirement should be only for the ICF competitions and the World Championships and World Cups, not for all Canoe Sprint competitions. So if you have any questions, okay, please, let's go for voting. Do you agree to amend Article 3.6 concerning the identification and advertising trademarks? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. So the next rule is amendment of the rule that Junior World Championships must be as close as possible to the World Championships, like the events, same events or similar. So the Canoe Sprint Committee proposing that the Junior World Championships have a little different events and different schedule, which has to be confirmed by the ICF Board of the Directors 1 year before. In other words, juniors may need some different events than what are the events for the open World Championships, and that's the reason to allow a little flexibility. Okay, any questions about this rule? Okay. Please vote. Do you agree to amend Article 6.1.3 to clarify the invitation content concerning the competition schedule for juniors? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Okay, next set of rules. It's about the pre-competition process. We had some contradiction in the old rules, which giving different timelines for World Championships, World Cups, and other competitions from level 4. So we tried to get them in one line in the same time frame, considering the first racing day, the team leaders meeting, and everything goes before that by certain time. So just to get clear process. Do you have any question about these rules? No? Okay, let's go for voting. Do you agree to amend Article 9.2, 9.3, and 9.5 to clarify the pre-competition process? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Okay, next sets of rules are disqualification and protest procedures. So the changes are proposed to avoid unnecessary delay of the decisions and simplify the process because sometimes the chief official is not at the finish tower and probably going around the course, checking different positions, and in this way, if the proposal is to approach the competition committee, and we have a give time frame 20 minutes, and when the decision should be published on the notice board, so it's much clearer process, and we believe will be avoiding necessary delays. Any question on those rules? No, thanks. Please vote. Do you agree to amend Article 10.7 and 11.2 to clarify the disqualification and protest procedures? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. So next set of rules are a little more, I guess, more major changes, especially the first one, to increase the length of the World Championships from 4.5 days to 6 days. The reason is because we combine Canoe Sprint and Paracanoe. Originally, Paracanoe were the day before and then start Canoe Sprint. And we think that's still some not proper conclusion of the Paracanoe with the Canoe Sprint. There is no proper mix, and the para-athletes feel isolated. We try to mix the races, and in this situation, we have to have some 4.5, 5, or 5.5 days. Last time in Sega 2019, we used 5 days. So, and was really busy schedule. That's why the proposal is to go to 6 days. We try to keep it as short as possible, and the most important, there will be no event longer than 3 days from the first hit to the finals, but some athletes will start later and finish later, some athletes will start earlier and finish earlier. That's about the first rule. The next two rules are because of we have timing providers, and the system for the World Championships are automated, and we're using world ranking, not the results from the previous World Championships. So one of them is deleted. The next rule is just better explanation. We're using the preliminary competition schedule, not the final, because at the team leaders meeting or even after that can be amended. The rule 13.4.2a is about the team uniforms to provide a photo or drawing. We believe everything is getting better the last years, but still some national federations send their athletes without national uniforms. They're racing with black uniforms, with white uniforms, and just to avoid boats from one country to race completely different uniforms. That's the reason. And the very last one is acceptance of the late entries. Especially during the pandemic period, we did accept a lot of late entries, and some teams, they struggle with the communication between the person in the office who enters the boats and names with the communication with their coaches, and sometimes we see they made a mistake, so we open availability of late entries for these kind of situations, but we don't want other NFs to abuse the system, so that's why it's a small charge of 20 euro per late entry. So, I hope I explained well. Any questions about these rules? If not, we can go for vote. Yes. Rock.
Can you clarify 13.4.2a? Because it doesn't seem like there is any action associated with the rule, except that we provide the photos. But okay, so what happens? You get the photos, what do you do?
So the officials, I think, Frank, do you want to take the floor? Where's Frank? Frank? Yeah? Do you want to answer, or you want me to answer? Okay, I try. I believe they've been asking to provide, all NFs, they've been asking to provide 2 sets of uniforms for each competition, like colors, but colors doesn't mean we really know how they should look, and sometimes it's really awful to see, especially the World Cups, 2 boats racing from the same country using different uniforms, and one is like national colors and one is not, so we try to unify the process and to have a real picture of what the uniforms should be. Still, it's allowed to have 2 different colors, but I guess Frank can add a little more.
Just to add a little more to that, we've had problems over the last few years in front of television and our sports presentations where athletes have come in a white T-shirt. We even had a problem at the Olympics because, remember, at the Olympics, we allowed 2 entries per country, and in one case, the 2 athletes from the same country had 2 different uniforms. We just don't think that's very professional. We think in our sports presentation, we must look good. We must have the right uniforms, so we have to be very careful.
something to the effect of the two uniforms of the team boat or the team boat members should be in the same uniform rather than provide a photo, because the photo doesn't answer.
Sorry, I didn't hear clear.
Okay, so what I'm saying is on 13.4.2a, you're only asking for the photo, right? But you're not specifying what needs to actually happen. So why not change that particular rule to say that two athletes will be in the same uniform?
I believe we have that rule in the rule book for the team boats. I think Frank would try to explain two athletes in two different boats, not in the same boat. In the same boat, we have the rule. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, please, let's go to voting. Do you agree to amend the Article 13.1, 13.3, and 13.4 concerning the organization and pre-competition procedure for the World Championships? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. We can go to the next set of rules. It's about the World Championships officials. The chief finish line judge was missing from the list, so we added, and we do have chief finish line judge, and also adding a new rule that all the ITOs at the World Championships must be recognized ICF Canoe Sprint officials and have the official cards. And that's in line with other disciplines, so we try to put all the rules in line. Any questions about these two rules? No? Please, let's go for voting. Do you agree to amend Article 13.6 concerning the officials at the World Championships? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. So, next rule. It's appeal to the jury. There was a long debate where the decisions should be published and who should receive the decision. It was the team leader, and some team leaders purposely didn't come to receive the decision, so to postpone the decision and to make it invalid. And there was a discussion, so the decision was to go to publish the decision in the athletes area notice board with the time of the publication. So the 20 minutes start from this time to be clear, to avoid delays, and to speed up the process And the next one, appeal to the jury, just clarification that is not appeal, all the appeals that go to the jury. That's all. Any questions about those rules? No? Thanks. Let's go for vote. Do you agree to amend Article 13.10 concerning the appeal to the jury at the World Championships? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Next rule, it's about the world ranking, Nations Cup, and in particular for the Paracanoe events. The proposal to include all Paracanoe events, not only the Paralympic events, but if they have to be eligible, they have to cover the minimum requirements for participation, boats, nations, and continents. Do you have any question on this rule, on that rule? Please vote. Do you agree to amend Article 13.12 concerning the Nations Cup at the World Championships? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. So moving to next one, it's about Masters World Championships. We try to get in line with other disciplines, like for example, marathon, dragon boat, ocean racing. They did have master competitions. With the Canoe Sprint, we had only one World Championship so far, and we don't have many rules for masters and try to create some or modify the existing rules. So that's the reason changing to align with other disciplines. Any questions about those rules? No?
I'm just interesting if we will have winning boat from 4 different countries, which item you will play on the podium. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. For the Masters, I don't think we have anthems. We can raise the 2 flags. Next to each other. like same as we have 2 bronze medals or 2 silver medals, like we can raise the 2 flags. You know, these individual entries, so we allow athletes from countries that don't have enough people the same age to combine with the others. And I think we've done this in other disciplines like marathon and ocean racing, and it still is okay. We didn't have problem. And because we have more than 70 events, there's no real time to do the medal ceremony with flags and with anthems. We just go as quick as possible. We do raise the flags, but no anthems. I hope that answers. More questions? Okay, let's go for vote. Do you agree to amend Article 13.13 concerning the Masters World Championships? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. The next set of rules are for the Junior and Under-23 World Championships. The first one, it's in line with the senior, going to up to 6 days. We have 2 age groups with a lot of events. At the moment, I think 4 days are too short, and we may have to go to 5 days, but again, no one event should be longer than 2 or 3 days. And the second rule, it's clarifying and trying to allow to combine boats between juniors and under-23 athletes in under-23 age group team boat classes. It's only to help to have more boats participating in under-23, and there's a clarification how many events they can race, and of course we don't allow single events. Any questions on this, on those 2 rules? Yes?
Good afternoon. This is not a question, it's a comment, because we are concerned with the increasing number of days of the competitions, because many countries don't have money for so long days staying in the competitions, and I think in juniors and then at 23, the problem is bigger than in the seniors, because we have more money for the seniors usually, and I don't know if it's a good decision increase more the costs of the federations with the competitions. I know that it's easier to the program, increase the number of days, but I don't know if this is good for the sustainability of the federations and the sport. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the question. For sure, we're not going to increase unnecessarily. We try to keep the days quite packed. Even this year in Montemor, we reduced all the gap between the races by 1 minute, just not to increase, and we do everything possible not to do it, but this is in case we need it, not to break the rules, because sometimes, you know, we start from 8 in the morning and finish 8 p.m., and it's quite difficult. But definitely, if we don't need it, we won't go in this way. Any other questions? Thank you. Let's go for voting. Do you agree to amend Article 14.1 concerning the Junior and Under-23 World Championships? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Okay, let's go for the last set of Canoe Sprint principal rules changes. Those are about the World Cups. The first one is getting exact timeline. Sometimes agreement with the TVs, if when they go to the TV, it's quite difficult. They make some changes, and the previous rule was 1st of March, and sometimes it was not possible to agree with the TV. The second rule, it's taken out because we don't have World Cup ranking anymore. We have a world ranking, including World Championships, and world ranking replace World Cup ranking. And the last one, 15.3, is deleted because it was about the bidding for the World Cups, and it's already in the statutes, ICF statutes. And not to have duplication or not to have different wording in the two documents, we take it out. Any questions for the World Cup rules? Okay, thanks. Let's go for voting. Do you agree to amend Article 15.2 and to remove the Article 15.3 concerning the World Cups? Yes, no, and abstain? Thank you. Thanks for all your questions and support for Canoe Sprint principal rules. That was the end of them. Next one is the Paracanoe. The first one is international competitions and officials. The proposal is to add Paracanoe technical representative to all Paracanoe competitions. Do you have questions about this rule? Okay, let's vote. Do you agree to amend Article 2.2.2? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Next set of rules about the boat construction and specifications. With every competition, we learn more about the adaptations that para-athletes are using and about the boat designs, and of course they have some evolution, and we try to follow up and to stop some changes that give unfair advantage, and that's the reason to have some changes. But pretty much it's clear what kind of equipment can be used and what not. Do you have any questions on those rules? If not, let's go for voting. Do you agree to amend Article 3.2, construction, and 3.3, kayaks, and 3.4, VA? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. Next rule is about disqualifications. We're adding that athletes can be disqualified based on classification rules, not only competition rules, but infraction with classification. That's a rule that was missing, so we believe it's necessary to have it. Any question about that rule? No? Okay, let's go for vote. Do you agree to amend Article 10.7.1 concerning the disqualification? Yes, no, abstain. Thank you. And the last rule change for the Paracanoe is about World Championships and the competition committee. The proposal is to have a Paracanoe technical representative approved by the ICF Paracanoe committee in the competition committee only for the World Championships. Do you have any questions? If not, please vote. Do you agree to amend Article 13.5.2 concerning the World Championships Competition Committee? Yes, no, abstain. Okay, thank you again for supporting the rule changes for Paracanoe. I'll pass the floor to Cyril to go to the slalom changes.
Hi everyone, thank you Martin. So now we go through the slalom rules. Next slide. So the first one is concerning the boat specification. It's a proposal from Australia, and the proposal concerns to have a shorter boat or no length specification. Their proposal was not given a solution and a clear wording. However, the Canoe Slalom committee was agreed that it's something to explore, but to do in a short term is very complex because we need to discuss with all NF. It will have a huge impact on the development of the discipline because you will change your equipment. And we need also to discuss with the provider what is possible, what is the best solution. So due to that, at this stage, the Canoe Slalom Committee recommends and the ICF board support to not be in favor of this proposal, but to have further discussion. Do you have questions? No question, so we can go to the vote. Do you agree with the Australia proposal concerning Canoe Slalom boat specification? Please, you should vote yes if you support Australia to do the change now, or no if you support the Canoe Slalom Committee and the ICF Board of Directors to have further discussion and to not change at this stage, or abstain. Thank you. Next point. It's a proposal from Slovenia to add new events, speed canoe slalom and mixed cat-cat relay team. The spirit of this proposal was to create diversity and to explore new avenues for slalom. Based on a discussion with the Slovenian Federation and the ICF Board of Director assessment, the proposal is to add these two events and to allow to test these events as an international competition level 4 events, and to add these two new events as the sport rules and the competition format possible for this at this level of competition. And you can see in the rule book there is an appendices, a new appendix where you will find the definition of these new events, new format. Question? No question. So we go to the vote. Do you agree to add these two events as potential competition format for the international competition level 4? Please vote yes, no, or abstain. Thank you. We move to the proposal number 3. So it's more fine-tuning. It's a late entries and procedure. It was to bring clarification and to ease the process to align our rules with the Olympic Games rules. And it will be easier and clearer to apply the process. Question? No question? We move to the vote. Do you agree with the new Article 6.2 and the amended Article 6.3? Yes, no, or abstain? Okay, thank you. We move to the proposal number 4. It's concerning the mixed canoe double statutes. So it was a question and a clarification requested by Australian Federation. And based on a discussion with the Canoe Slalom Committee and the ICF Board of Directors, we propose to remove the mixed C2 events and the mixed C2 team events from World Championships and World Cup competition program. In the fact, if we look the 3 to 4 years last years, at the World Championships, we were not always official, and it was more non-official than official. And at World Cup level, we have never again mixed C2 since at least 3 years, if I remove the years with COVID. So based on it, the CSL committee and the ICF board of directors agreed to remove these 2 events from the World Championships and World Cup program. Next, we'll go to the vote. Do you agree to amend the articles 13.2 by removing mixed C2 and mixed C2 team from the competition program? Yes, no, abstain. Is there a question? I did not ask if there is a question. No question. Okay, thank you. We move now to the point number 5, eligible NF to enter World Championships. It was a clear discussion within the Canoe Slalom Committee and with the Continental Association. The target of this is to be eligible to enter an athlete at the World Championship for senior events only, so only for the senior World Championships. A national federation must have entered at least 1 athlete in the same event at the previous Continental Championships, or a designated competition by the concerned Continental Association. Clearly, the target of the Canoe Slalom Committee is to reinforce the continental activities and to, in some ways, the Continental Championship become a qualification competition to go to the access to the World Championships. So it will, the Canoe Slalom Committee will work closely with each Continental Association to develop this competition and support this organization of competition. Do we have any question? Question at the back?
Enfin, merci beaucoup. Je voulais juste peut-être, par rapport à ce point, attirer peut-être votre attention. Certainement, le continent africain est actuellement peut-être sera disons, plus touché par rapport à cet article. Pourquoi? Parce que le développement de la slalom n'est pas encore au top. C'est-à-dire on n'a pas encore le vrai développement. Ce qui fait que je pense que pour y aller ensemble, pour en tout cas aller dans le sens de participer à une compétition continentale, il faudra forcément accompagner le continent comme le continent africain à mieux se développer à la base, de travailler pour le développement du continent dans le domaine du slalom. Ça permettra vraiment d'être au top
and to develop the canoe slalom discipline in our continent, so to be able
I think it will be the spirit, but I will give the floor to Jean-Michel if you want to answer to this question or bring more arguments.
Yes, thank you, Cyril. To answer the question from the Senegalese Federation representative, and I guess it's a concern for the world continent, even in Africa, ICF and the Continental Association, we must achieve to have 1 continental championships a year or a competition that is designated as a qualifier. And we are committed, the ICF and the technical committee, to help and support not only Africa, but all continents to achieve this goal. As already mentioned by Cyril, we absolutely want to increase the number of competition in the continent and to develop the activity at the continental level. This article will not penalize the best athletes. It's only an encouragement to the Continental Association and organization from the National Federation to put together effort to have a continental championships. And this is something already existing in most of the continent. The problem we face is the participation. Most of the federation and the most advanced federation are not participating at the continental championships. And this is not good for those federations who make the effort to organize and participate. So we want to unify somehow the participation level. And it's not a big requirement. It's 1 athlete per event. And it's not namely, if you have 1 K1 from 1 nation participating, it's enough to qualify this federation for the next World Championships. So I think it's not the big effort we ask for, and anyhow, and I think it's in our conversation with the continental president, it has been clearly supported as a reinforcement and a support to the activity. So from our side as ICF, we need to put together the effort and the workforce, human resources, to help you to achieve this goal.
Okay, thank you, Jean-Michel. There is other question?
So I agree with the Senegal. I understand your intent, but the intent can have also the negative consequences. As an example, in the Americas, we were not able to organize a continental championship because of COVID in the last year. And so what would happen if that statute was in place? We would be all staying home and nobody would be able to compete in the World Championship. So I understand the intent. I think the intent is good, but the approach to solve issues within Africa or in Americas is just not productive. So I am strongly against this particular statute.
Okay, more question? No question? So I propose we move to the vote. Okay, thank you. We move now to the point number 6, defending world champion. It's a proposal from Slovenia. At ICF World Championship for senior event only, the defending world champion may be entered in addition to the 3 boats mentioned in table. Defending champion will wear a special bibs, world champion years, 2016, 2020 or something. From this proposal, the Canoe Slalom Committee is against this addition. For one main argument is that we need to keep the balance to have fair access to the World Championships. It's already 3 boats per event, and to keep each nation with 3 boats in each event. It's also a question to let the national federation to select their athletes and not to impose one athlete to a national federation to enter a competition. We may find some other, it has been well assessed by the Canoe Slalom Committee, We can find also some positive, but the weakness of it was pushing the competition, the Canoe Slalom committee to be not in favor, and the ICF board of director is not in favor too. So now, do we have a question? No question, so we move to the vote. Do you agree to add this new article to allow the defending world champion to enter as an extra boat at the subsequent world championships? So concerning the vote, vote yes if you support the Canoe Slalom, the Slovenian Federation, sorry, and vote no if you are supporting the Canoe Slalom Committee and the ICF Board of Directors who are not in favor, or abstain. Okay, thank you. We move now to the point number 7, CSL ICF Nation Cup. It's just a simplification. In the previous rule book, we have a system of points, and we propose to move, as most of the other discipline, to work from the number of the ranking by medals. It's a simplification and consistency across all disciplines. So the ICF Board of Directors is in the favor. Do we have questions? No question. We move to the vote. Do you agree to amend the Article 13.10 concerning the ICF Nation Cup? Yes, no, or abstain? Thank you. We move to the point 8, extreme slalom boat the specification. So it's an amended article. All the amendment has been done in coordination with boat manufacturers. There is no big change from what has been done this year in 2021. We keep the main principle. We have just tidied up following a meeting with more than 20 boat manufacturers. With keeping in mind that the discipline, we want to keep this discipline, the Canoe Slalom Committee want to keep this discipline linked to the market, to the mass-produced plastic boat market. So all the fine-tuning has been done with the providers. Question? No question. So we move to the vote. Do you agree to amend the Article 16.1 concerning the extreme canoe slalom boat specification? Yes, no, or abstain? Thank you, and I think it's a conclusion for the Canoe Slalom rules, and I give the floor back to Martin for the marathon. And I take the opportunity to thank the Canoe Slalom committee, all members and the chairs for the work done to prepare these rules. Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the Canoe Marathon rule changes. Okay, first set objective of Canoe Marathon. There's a just clarification and better English, better explanation, nothing major change. Any questions? No, thanks. Let's go for vote. Please vote. Do you agree to amend Article 2.1 concerning the objective for Canoe Marathon? Yes, no, abstain. Sorry, actually for the non-Olympic disciplines, we have to vote on that unless there are any questions and any concerns. So let's go, if there are no questions, let's go to next set of rules. Adding Master World Championships to the level 4, same as other disciplines. We do have Masters competitions, but it's additional Master World Championships. Any questions? No? So go to next sets of rules. Boat constructions and kayak definition. The deflector, it's based on the Canoe Sprint rules as well, just have the same wording. And for the first rule, 3.2.3, it's deleted because there's no need of such rule when there's no width, minimum width on the boats. Has been discussed among the CAM committee. Any questions on these rules? Okay, next sets of rules. It's about distances. We get clear, simplify the rules and get clear from long explanation, senior for men and women and juniors. We just have common minimum 10 kilometers long. So just simplify that rule. Just allow me to go a little shorter, depend of the season. Some places they don't have as long courses, and if not, it's pre-season or after season, they may offer such distances that's not for the World Championships. Any questions? Okay, let's go to the next set of rules. Okay, we're adding safety requirements, which are important. for our sports, and clarifying that for non-World Championships events, it's not necessary to specify names on the substitutes for the entries. One is for safety, one is for entries. Any questions? Okay, let's go for next sets of rules. That's about better explanation of the role. And the second one is in line with other disciplines to have same wording and same lines. And the third rule is to cover extreme situations. Any questions about the rules? No? Okay, let's go for next set. It's about rules for disqualification and penalties. All of them, they're just better explanation. And the last one is in line with other disciplines to have the same wordings and same rule. Any questions? No, thanks. Let's go for next sets of rules. 11.1.4 and 11.1.5 are new rules. The same reason to be same as other disciplines. They do exist in other disciplines, so we add them here as well. And the last two rules are better explanation, and again, in line with other disciplines. Just make all the rules similar in wording and content as well. Any questions about those four rules? Okay, let's go to next set. Okay, the first one is same as for the Canoe Sprint. We propose to go to maximum of 6 days. We have now short distance for marathon and additional women canoe and more canoe events for men C2s. So the schedule is quite busy during the day, so eventually can go to additional day. That's the reason. The next two rules, 12.4, to be in line with other disciplines again, just amendment. And the rule 12.6, it's to avoid misunderstanding. To use English language, sometimes, as you know, it's not so easy communication, and some people understand one thing, people understand different and using different languages, but for ICF competitions, we should use English. That's for the World Championships rule. Okay. Any questions about the rules here? No questions. Thanks for that. Next set of rules, 12.9. They are just very simple clarification, the process, and adding, be in line with other disciplines. To communication to be sent and use the competition committee, not necessarily the chief official, as the chair of the jury not always is there. Any questions, suggestions? No? Thanks. Okay, that's about World Masters. Becomes World Championships. Before was Championships. Now we're adding the word World Championships, as that was approved at last Congress, and we're adding 2 more events, mixed doubles, in only 2 age groups. As you know, we having mixed doubles in a few disciplines, and people like it, and we continue even in marathon, in masters. Any questions? Yes? No, masters are a different 2 days competition. Yeah. Any other questions? I think that was everything for Canoe Marathon. There were not many questions. Do you agree? Let's vote. Do you agree with all the rules amendments concerning the Canoe Marathon? All the rules that we just show now, please vote yes, no, or abstain. Okay, thank you. Thank you for supporting the changes for Canoe Marathon.
Thank you, Martin. Now we will move on with Wildwater canoeing. Few changes. Number 1, to add as a boat open canoe. It's a boat which is developed in some area in the world, and the target of the Wildwater canoeing committee is to embrace as much as possible all different kind of practice with Wildwater canoeing. It's a simple format. Wildwater canoeing, you know, it's start from a point A and go arrive at a point B. So they want to be inclusive. So the proposal is to add the open canoe as part of the all events open to Canadian canoe. Do you have questions? No questions, so we move to the second changes. We will do all the vote at the end. In the same spirit, it's concerning the boat definitions, and the target is to remove all the width minimum for all boats and some wording clarification. So, yeah, in the same spirit, always to be inclusive and to be able to welcome as much as possible all kind of boat and paddlers in the competition. Do you have question? No question. We move to this point 3. Protest, it's a minor changes. This one is just to be more accurate. As you know, in Wildwater, we have a classic event, which is a long race, and you have the sprint event on the most of the time on a whitewater venue. And the accessibility is not always the same. So for the protest, we need to have 2 different processes. One, we need to allow more time for the classic with 20 minutes. And for the sprint events, which is very accessible in principle, so we want to reduce the sprint protest time to 5 minutes as is done in slalom. So it was an updated process to fit the sprint and classic event constraint. Question? No question? We move on, and I think it was the last changes, so now we go to the vote. Do you agree with all ruled amendments concerning Wildwater canoeing? You can vote yes, no, or abstain. And during we wait the result, I take the opportunity to thank the Wildwater chair and all committee members involved in these rule changes. Thank you. I give back the floor to Martin. No, it's still me with Canoe Freestyle, so we move on with Canoe Freestyle. Few changes also. The first one is the international competition level 4 definition. It's the same spirit than Wildwater. Freestyle want to be inclusive and to try to gather most of the paddlers doing freestyle around the world. And there is some competition in the world having some different way to do the scoring. And due to the appendices that we have at this time, we don't have the same. We are a bit stricter. It's too strict, so we have we have proposed to add 3 rules to have lighter rules at the competition level 4 and to be more open and one more time to be more inclusive. So it's also to ease the organization of all international competition level 4. Do you have question? No question. We move to the next one. In the spirit for the competition format for all competition, in the past we had the open canoe, a mixed canoe decade, where men and women were in the same events, and to allow good development, and we have more and more women who want to paddle in canoe. we want to create the spirit of the gender equality within our sport. We want to add separate in 2 events, men canoe and women canoe. And it will be implemented, if you accept it, from next year's. Question? No question, thank you. We move to the last change. It's a more process, pre-competition process. It's just to align and to allow more time after team captain meeting for final adjustment. I think there is no major change here. Do you have question? No question. Thank you. And it was the last change proposed. So do you agree we move to the vote? Do you agree with all rules amended concerning Canoe Freestyle? Vote yes if you agree, vote no if you don't agree, or abstain. And during the vote, I want to thank the Canoe Slalom, the Canoe Freestyle committee members and the chair for the work done for these rule changes. I take the opportunity to say that we have no Canoe Polo principal rule changes to the vote because the committee don't want to change any principal rules. We have only sport rule change for Canoe Polo, and we have on the website with all documentation. And I also thank the Canoe Polo committee members and the chair for the work done for this period for the rule changes. Thank you. And at the end for my disciplines.
Okay, let's come to the Dragon Boat. Actually, I have 2 good news for you. There are only 3 more disciplines left. And the second good news, we may finish before the end of, before 4 o'clock. Yeah, I'll hurry up. So, okay, let's start with the first Dragon Boat change. It's identification and advertising trademarks. It's just to put in line with other disciplines. We move these guidelines to special manual, which takes care of the trademarks. Any questions about that rule? No questions. Next one, please. Okay, scratching here 250 meters because never been used. At all the hosts, they're using 200 meters as already set distance for Canoe Sprint and very often use the same courses. So this is the reason we never been used. It's been so to be scratched. Any questions or suggestions? No? Thank you. Next one. Okay, here is one major change, I can say. The suggestions of Dragon Boat Committee is to have open category. In this open category, you know, the Dragon Boat, they pedal 10-seaters or 20-seaters, like 20 athletes. And open category can include any gender, any age, just to fill the boat if some teams, they don't have enough open, so they can use juniors, they can use masters, they can use even females, which is not beneficial for the results. Okay, do you have questions or any suggestions for this, for that rule? No? Thank you. Next one. Yep, we're adding those 2 sets of rules, 2.2 and 2.32, as just to be in line with other disciplines. They already exist, and we'll keep the same wording for the Dragon Boat. Do you have any questions? Okay, we can move to next rules. 11.1.3 has been scratched because it doesn't apply for Dragon Boat. Dragon Boat, as you know, organizers provides boats which already measured and they are the same model, same size, same weight. So it's not applying for Dragon Boat. The second rule is just in line with other disciplines. A small change, just adding all penalties. So any questions? No? Okay, thanks. Let's go for next one. The protest process was missing or very lightly covered in the Dragon Boat rules, so there's some additions. Copy from other disciplines and use the same wording and same process, just to have same process in every rule book, but exactly the same. Any questions about those changes or additions? No? Okay, great. Let's go for next one. We're just adding timekeepers. They were missing from the list, and for Dragon Boat, they've been used, so it just was a missing position, ITO position. Any questions, suggestions? No? Thank you. Let's go to the next one. It's for the World Championships, protest and appeals to the jury, just clarification of the processes. One of them was duplicated with 11.2, the rule 12.6, and 12.7.2 is in line with other disciplines. We keep the same process, the same timelines. Questions? No? Okay, let's go to the next one. It's clarification here, better explanation. Medals, the Dragon Boat, including the reserves. Each boat can have up to a certain number of reserves, 20 seaters 4 and 10 seaters 2. So these guys, the reserves, they also receive medals. And other one is just 2. The ranking is based on the gold medals because we have too many events for Dragon Boat. Any questions about the awards and Nation Cup? No? Okay. Let's go for next one. That's the last one for the Dragon Boat. The first one is better explanation. Actually, there was no World Cup until 2 years ago when we had the first World Cup in China, 2019, I believe, and we didn't have any rules, so we're adding some rules and starting to have World Cups if we have bidders and hosts. So first time we had it, and now we add rules. Any questions or suggestions? No? Okay. Let's then vote for the, do you agree with all rule changes concerning Dragon Boat? Yes, no, and abstain.
Could we please ask the voting delegates to continue voting? We've seen a drop-off in the last half an hour. I know we're near the end, but if you could please try and just finish the voting. We're nearly at the end. We're just seeing that a few of you have not actually voted in the last few rounds. So I'd appreciate if you could still just bear with us a few moments while we finish the voting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for approving the Dragon Boat rule changes. Next one is ocean racing rule changes. Let's start. The first one, the proposal is to add raging world champions to the entries for the world championships, and that was approved by the board of the directors, having raging world champions, top 40 plus 5 boats per NF. Any questions, suggestions? No? Okay, let's go to the next one. Here is the addition of the OC1, outrigger canoe singles. Until now, there is the official classes that were surf ski, which is like kayak, and adding outrigger canoe is like covering the second sport to be official event, official boat. Do you agree with this? Any questions, actually? Suggestions? Okay, thanks. Next one. (12.10.1). It's approved from the board. It's amalgamate with Rule 1.8.7 to reduce the duplications between Nation Cups rules in this chapter and Chapter 1. They're supposed to be exactly the same. Any questions? And next one, I think, is the last one. There was proposal to have Masters Nation Cup, and the board didn't agree with this proposal, with the reason for the Masters, the entries are individuals. Individual entries is difficult to have Nation Cups with individual entries, but and so it shouldn't be official ranking, but that can be done by the organizers unofficially. So that's why the board didn't agree, and here we can vote for this particular rule. You can vote with yes, supporting. Okay, do you agree to add the new Article 12.11.5 to add Masters Nation Cup? If yes, you support adding. No, you support the decision of the board, and abstain. Please vote. Okay, so the vote is to add Masters Nation Cup. Okay, thank you. And next vote is for, do you agree with all rule changes concerning ocean racing that we just mentioned? Yes, no, abstain. Okay, thank you. So that was the end of the ocean racing, and we have one more discipline. It's stand-up paddling. It's first time we are producing the stand-up paddling rules, and there's a completely new book. Pretty much most of the contents is copy from other rule books, except the very technical, specifically technical parts for the SUP. I believe you had chance to read and get familiar with those rules. It's first time, and we propose to be voted as the whole book. So, do you have any questions, suggestions, ideas?
Sorry, Martin, it's a bit slightly different. Because this is a new discipline, it's not amendments to the rules, it's actually a complete rule book, and therefore we need the Congress to formally approve the rule book so that we can actually use it. We already had, as you know, the most successful SUP World Championships ever in Hungary this year, and where these rules were actually in place as provisionally. So, but this vote is basically to approve the first set formally of the rules. So it's not an amendment, it simply just need a quick vote to say yes or no, but we hope that you would approve them, as it's already being used across the board now. So yeah, thank you. So we can go straight to the vote, Martin.
Yeah, thanks. Simon is correct. We use these rules as provisional rules this year World Championships in Balaton, which was great. Thanks. Okay, let's vote to approve the book. Yes, no, or abstain. Okay, thank you. I think that was everything with the competition rules. I'll pass the floor to Simon.
Thank you very much. I think as we finish for today, the last all the points on the agenda. Thank you to Simon and Cyril and Martin for this presentation. When I read this document for today, I think it's need 3 or 4 hours more, but finally we have in time. Now I pass the floor to Luciano to inform for this afternoon. We have our official dinner to inform in detail. Thank you.
7 o'clock. A short information. We have this evening on the top floor of the hotel, the official dinner for this Congress. 7 o'clock.
Before we finish, there are one question, please. Yes?
Yeah, dear President, dear Secretary General, all the delegations. As we know that our universality and the unity of ICF the delegations are the unity and equality. That's why I take my floor. The last voting for the third seat for Africa was incorrect the way it was managed. Please, we are requesting to revote and the motion against for that. We're feeling that oppressive for that issue, so we are not happy as African nation for what was made it twice only that voting. So please be concerned for this issue. Thank you very much.
Well, the problem is when the first vote for these issues have a problem because some members here already have problem not possible to vote. We'll have the second round. This is the issues. But this Congress is very open. If the Congress want vote now, is agreed to repeat, I don't have any problem, but the Congress decided it's necessary to repeat or not. This meaning your question is to repeat the vote for the third member. I understand well.
No, Pachi, you can't do that.
No?
You can't do that. You can't do that, Pachi. Okay, you can't do that, Pachi, because you have to have a vote.
I prefer you clarify because I don't understand well. Yeah.
Just to clarify what happened, we had the first vote and there was 73 votes, okay? The vote before we'd had 84. There was 11 people that didn't vote. What we worked out is at that time, the internet wasn't working very well in the room and people couldn't vote in the Congress room. So when we went the second, and I asked quite clearly if everybody was okay to go have a second vote. There was no opposition to having the second vote. And clearly in the second vote, 87, I believe, members voted. That was the only reason we had a second vote, was because we had a technical issue in the first vote, which meant that 10 or 11 voters couldn't actually vote. That is the only reason why we had the second vote, Pachi. It had nothing to do with the decision of the first vote.
Joao, please. Joao Costalegre.
Oh, merci, Monsieur le Président. Moi, je pense que il faut faire attention parce que nous sommes dans un congrès. Quelque chose qui se passe mal, ça peut effectivement donner une impression négative de notre congrès. Monsieur le Secrétaire général, le seul point qu'on a voté deux fois, c'est le point
item which we voted twice is the item that was just mentioned, and it concerned the delegate from Africa.
N'a pas fonctionné seulement pour cette point.
Internet didn't work right in that moment and only for that item to be voted.
S'il vous plaît, il faut avoir un peu de transparence. Il faut que
it is necessary to be transparent here within the ICF. So I know how to say it, and it's difficult to express myself, saying the gentleman, but this is the only item for which we had connection problem here. And why is it so? Because it concerns Africa. So this is not my interpretation of the situation, but this is what the African federations, this is how the African federations interpreted this situation. So in order to have full transparency, and so that we have no rumors or strange situations, Africa proposes to find a solution, because we cannot say that due to missing votes, we don't have our third delegate. Because as you know, today we have a problem that concerns the internet, okay? And many countries could not vote. We know that. But in order to defend the universality of continents, we have to repeat this vote. Otherwise, Africa, with the two delegates and the board withdraw. And this is not what we want, right? Because Africa may decide to withdraw its present delegates from the board and organize its own Congress, but this is not good, right? So I would like to avoid to meet again to try and look for a consensus. Thank you.
Well, I think we have in time now. And follow this, clarify for more transparency, because this is the clear situations. I prepare in one vote if the Congress is agreed to repeat this vote exactly? Is there a majority decided to repeat? Go to the second round to repeat the elections. You finish this discussion, because I understand you all. Perhaps there are some problem to the connections. There are great distension. I don't like to create in this Congress, any conflict when it's very simple. If the Congress disagree to repeat this vote, we preparing this, and after vote the second round. If the Congress disagree, we go for the second round, we go to vote the second round. 1 minute because it's preparing the possibility to vote. I only clarify. The third vote, you need simple majority, 50% is go, and the other need 2 or 3 parties, clear, absolute majority. Yes. It's okay. It's okay. Completely agree. Yes. No, not hearing, please.
Okay. The USA agrees there should be a second vote on this item, but could we also suggest that this vote take place tomorrow morning? Because we are concerned that a number of countries may have left the online internet collection.
Okay, I get the motion for the USA. It's clear that this moment is moved to 84. The last vote is about 70, 72, 73. Tomorrow, perhaps there are more connection. We'll like the first point to discussion tomorrow, this point, when have preparing this. This is my proposal to start tomorrow. First, the Congress decided if go to repeat these elections or not. If they agree, need minimum simple majority, go for vote. It's not finished. Thank you, Charles, for your recommendation. Okay, this situation is finished for today, and see you 7 o'clock in the dinner in the hotel. And tomorrow start 1 o'clock, please.